Hi Libra, welcome to your tarot reading. So that person that's on your mind, I want to pull cards and see what is going on in this relationship. See, any past energies, what's currently going on, and kind of moving forward where you guys need to work on energies or maybe things you don't see coming. We're going to pull cards from the tarot. I'm going to do a traditional Celtic cross spread today. And I do have a couple of oracle decks out as well for additional messages if we need those at the end. So hope you guys are having an awesome day. We have the Four of Swords, the Hierophant, the Emperor, the Ace of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. We have the Tower, Eight of Pentacles, the Sun card, Five of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. Underneath we have the Ace of Pentacles. So there is a new stable beginning in the underlying energy. The Ace of Pentacles is about stability. It is about, property. It could be about wealth and abundance as well, but it's very stable and grounded. It is earth energy. And so this could have to do with maybe a house, or it could just have something to do with a stable beginning, you two being on the same page and kind of working together to build a solid foundation. But this is the gift that Spirit is handing to you right now. It is the underlying energy of everything. So stability is definitely in your mind here. The situation is the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is rest, relaxation. It's also about like kind of in solitude. It's not like the Hermit card where you're completely in solitude, but this is kind of pulled back here. This energy is kind of like going within to, maybe meditate and get some rejuvenation, just kind of taking care of yourself, maybe a self-care. The blockage here is the Hierophant. So this is about beliefs and traditions. Somebody could be very pulled back and kind of holding back from their beliefs or holding back on their traditions here. So this could have to do with marriage. It could have to do with religion. It could have to do with anything that is like traditions and beliefs for you. Marriage is included in that. So what's causing this is the Emperor. The Emperor is an Aries energy, so you could be dealing with an Aries. It doesn't have to be, but the Emperor is about like taking control and taking leadership. It can also be about being too controlling, right? So somebody could be trying to control the situation and kind of pulling back and withdrawing, or they could be pulling back and withdrawing in order to gain control. Take it how it resonates for you. It is a general reading. So in the recent past, we have the Ace of Wands, which is like that passionate new beginning, a new adventure. This could be something that you were manifesting. You could have already started some kind of new passionate adventure. This could be like the start of a relationship. This could be like a startup business. This could be a side hustle. This could just be any passion project that was started in the recent past, or some kind of new journey. Maybe you two started on a new journey together in the recent past. Your higher self or subconscious, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is about divine timing. It's also like a karma card, but it is about like cycles, like moving through cycles. I feel like your higher self is trying to tell you that you're trying to move into a new cycle, right? This passionate new beginning. Things are changing. There is a new cycle coming, because the Wheel of Fortune is very much about cycles and change and moving through the different cycles in life, right? And with an ace, that is a new beginning. And you do have two of them here. So I feel like things are just kind of changing and moving, and your higher self is telling you that. So in the near future, we do have the Tower card. So I don't see the Tower card as a negative. I know it can be portrayed that way. I think it's all in how you take it. So it is a sudden, quick change. It is, again, with stability. So this could be a sudden change in stability. This could just be a very sudden change into a new cycle in life, right? So maybe you go from being single to being engaged. Maybe you go from being engaged to married all of a sudden. Maybe you decide to elope, right? This is just a very quick, sudden change coming in here in the near future. Spirit is telling you to just focus on your work, focus on building your skills, focus on putting the work into this relationship, into yourself. I feel like this is the energy of, really focusing on something and putting in the skills and the effort, right? So putting the effort into whatever this new beginning is for you. We have the Sun card, which is in your environment. This is the influence. This is all about happiness, growth, prosperity, right? This is my favorite card. But it's also about just like that fulfillment, that confidence. I feel like this is all about like this passion project has a lot to do with your happiness and your passions and just like what lights you up, right? I just think of like that light bulb moment over somebody's head. But it's also like what makes your inner child happy. Every time I see the Sun card, I think of an inner child because of the child on the horse here. But it's, you know, what lights you up, what fills you with energy and vitality, right? So in your hopes and fears, we have the Five of Wands. This is about obstacles, challenges, maybe kind of feeling a little defeated or not feeling good enough. You know, this is about having the confidence to kind of embrace the competition and challenges that are at play here. You could be kind of fearing those, that, you know, this will be a challenge in order to kind of move things forward here. But I feel like you're going to overcome those challenges. I don't feel like that's something that you should really fear completely here. And then the overall outcome, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is like my card of being single. So this could be, you know, to do with a marriage, and maybe you wind up going off on your own, and that's the Tower moment, and then you're single. But this can also just be enjoying the fruits of your labor, right? Enjoying the luxuries in life, you know, taking care of yourself, being self-sufficient. So this could also be about you being independent within a relationship. That could be a cycle that's changing for you, right? Like if we're always dependent on someone else, or there can be codependency issues, you know, but I feel like there's just a cycle changing of you finally being independent, whether that's in a relationship or, you know, being single. It's just that cycle of you kind of taking care of yourself and being able to handle things on your own. Let's see. What do they not see coming here, Spirit? What does Libra not see coming? Wow. Okay. We've got 3 aces out here and the Judgment card. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing energy. So you got 2 major arcana and an ace here. So the Judgment is about awakening, right? It's about a rebirth, new beginning. So you've got 3 aces and the Judgment card here. This is about leaving the past behind. So this very well could have been you kind of recovering from a marriage. Maybe somebody's been pulled back in a marriage after being controlled. You know, again, it's a general reading, so it's going to be different for each of you. But I feel like this had something to do with traditions, beliefs, or, you know, marriage, the institution of marriage. I just feel like a cycle is changing here for you, and there's a whole new beginning coming in here. This is like a rebirth energy. So after that Tower, it is, you know, it's a lot to deal with, the changes, right? And that's really where the awakening and like this rebirth energy comes in here. And then you've got the Ace of Swords, which is like gaining clarity, speaking your truth. And then you have the World card here, which is all about like a completion, again, with the cycles. You have the Wheel of Fortune, and now you have the World card. So this is like a completion. I always think of this as like a circle, the wreath, and it's like a portal, like you're walking through this whole new beginning, right? You have 3 aces and the Judgment card here. So things are definitely changing for you. And you have a lot of new beginnings here being handed to you by Spirit. And you have like this fulfillment, you know, this cycle has been completed. Things are moving forward in your favor. So this Tower moment could very well be a very good Tower moment. It could throw you like into, you know, if this was a passion project, things could take off very quickly, you know, and then you're strong and independent, like standing on your own. You're able to financially take care of yourself, and you're able to also give to others. You know, she has these 6 pentacles here for herself, but she also has enough to share. So this could just be you really taking these new beginnings and hit the ground running here, because, you know, you're going to step through this portal and have this whole new rebirth, this whole new beginning. There's definitely a cycle that has ended for you, and you are moving into a whole completely different new cycle. I mean, 3 aces, the Judgment, and the World card is just a complete rebirth and a complete renewal. And you have the Tower there. So I feel like there are some massive changes, massive cycles changing for you, which is a really good thing. It could seem overwhelming with the Tower, but I don't feel that way. I mean, the influence here is your happiness. If this was something that you really wanted to start, this whole new adventure, and things are now changing in your favor, they could just be changing really quickly. Again, the Tower doesn't have to be a negative. I just see this, you've put in the work. You really have, because you go from the Eight of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles. So you have been putting in this work. Spirit sees that. This is the advice from Spirit. Like, keep putting in that work, because you're almost at that Nine of Pentacles, right? Like, you're right on the verge of something here, and you're going through a complete transformation. So what's the advice for Libra, Spirit? We have the Strength card. Temperance. Wow, you are going through a massive, massive change here, Libra. I mean, you've got a lot of major arcana, 3 aces. So we have the Strength card, Temperance, and the Four of Wands. Yeah, this is just you kind of standing here with that self-confidence, that strength. Temperance is all about balance and, moderation, but also it's about alchemizing, right? Like, using the lessons that you have learned, and you have kind of transmuted all of this energy into this new beginning for yourself. I'm surprised that the Magician isn't here, but I feel like you have just kind of taken this new beginning and you are running with it, because we're moving into like a massive change, and which is really good change. And then you have the Four of Wands here, which is about stability. It can be about union. So this could be about you moving into a new relationship with someone, moving into a union with someone. It is the 1111 card, but I feel like this is just, and with the Temperance and the Four of Wands here, this is about like integrating your lives together into a union. So you could be, having a new love here, but I really see this as you just kind of finding that inner strength and confidence to overcome all these obstacles that you have gone through, and you remaining balanced and calm and really working with this energy. And you've got this brand new life coming in here, all this stability. This is joy, happiness, celebrations, you kind of sitting on your own here. I mean, this could have been a marriage that ended, that you were healing from, because with this Four of Swords, this is like a healing energy. And the blockage here was, it could have been a marriage, or it could have just been your belief systems around whatever this control, like this Emperor energy. This could also just be you taking control after a time of healing, and maybe trying to heal from, a lot of people have wounds or trauma around religion. So maybe this was you kind of healing from that, and then stepping in and taking control of things here after being in a healing energy. I just feel like there was definitely some healing that was done. You've been kind of pulled back with that Four of Swords. That is like, again, that going within type of energy. And then that Hierophant being your blockage there. It's about, honor. It could be like a spiritual path. You could have been healing and you were kind of blocked from your spiritual path, but this is kind of you just stepping in, and this could honestly be like the massive change and the karma coming in here. You are moving more into your spirituality, the rebirth, the new beginnings. You're moving into a more spiritual time. Maybe you started a spiritual business, and then this is you being able to enjoy that because you're doing what you love and enjoy, right? So I really love this for you, Libra. This is a really good energy. I sat down to do a love reading for you, but I think this turned out to be more of like a total rebirth for you. I feel like this is all about you. Maybe some of you, for the collective that I'm reading for, this isn't about relationships. Right now, this is a time for you, because you're moving into a whole new life here. I just feel like you're over here single as a Pringle and like loving life, right? You've gone through so many lessons and all of this karma, and you've really done well for yourself. So I love this for you, Libra. I hope that this message resonates, and I will see you next time. Bye.